Before I begin the video, I'd like to say thank you to the following channel members: No Running in My Lobby, Fluffy Chuff Nuffles, Elias IDK, Annette Fisher, Steve Hughes, and the Yabbick. Click the join button, sign up today, become a decent human today. Not only do you get the title of decent human that you can brag to everybody about and tell them, hey, I am a decent human, I got the title and everything. Also, you're funding future projects, the more of you that join, that I really want to do. That being said, hey everybody. So, you know, I picked a shorter Count Dankula video to do today because, you know, I got a call for a temporary contract. So I'm going to go train some folks, get them up to snuff. Also, I'm going to be basically doing Observer Controller at the same time, so that'll be fun. That'll be tons of fun, actually. You know, and I wasn't given like an exact amount of time this would last. So I'm guessing they had a lot of stuff change at the last minute, which is why they called me up and were like, hey, you know, like, can you come and do this for us? And we don't know how long it's going to be. So we'll see how this goes. But that being said, boom. Also, thank you again to my channel members. Y'all are superstars. Y'all are awesome. I love you. Now, let us jump into some Count Dankula, shall we? The tragic story of the Golden Indian. This is going to be fun. Y'all ready? I'm ready. Let's jump in.
We're going to be covering a man who you have no doubt seen before in memes. The fabled Golden Indian, whose real name is Datatray D. Pug? Pug. His name's Pug, screw it. The unique image of a middle-aged Indian man wearing a gold-encrusted shirt detailed with diamonds, topped with the finest set of dazzling gold jewellery, is enough to mesmerise any man or Minecraft enthusiast into envy. But the meme led to a lot of questions. Who is he? How the hell did he afford clothes literally made of gold? Why did he buy clothes literally made of gold? What is this guy's story? And we tried to find all of that information out because we were also curious. And it turns out that this funny meme actually has a pretty sad ending. But before we get into the video, we have a new sponsor. Black Hole Battery Drainer. Have you ever wanted to drain the power of any of your devices in an instant? Me.
This has got to be a joke. This has got to be a joke.
Either, but if this is for you, then stay tuned. The Black Hole Battery Drainer will make all of your electronic devices completely unusable in almost no time at all. If you want to turn your portable consoles, phones and laptops into useless bricks for absolutely no reason, then watch this.
Sounds like a tool for environmentalists to, like, you know, fight against pollution and environmental waste and something like that. Wait, actually, you know what? A lot of them would be stupid enough to buy it. Dude, don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody. I'll see if this is actually a possible thing to do. And then, like, maybe make a fake account where it's like, oh, environmentalists, we have a new weapon, and then sell it to them all for like $50 per or something. I don't know. I would believe they would buy it. I believe they would buy it.
Sick and tired of your full battery? Say goodbye to that power with the Black Hole Battery Drainer. Officially the world's fastest battery drainer. Compatible with any battery-powered device. 100 to 0% in under 15 seconds. Power goes in, but it won't come out. Guaranteed.
And boom, how's it going?
Yeah, awesome. Why would I want this?
Cool, now I can't use my phone at all.
Black Hole Battery Drainer. All your power gone. Get yours now at blackholepower.com.
This is obviously a joke. It's your boy, Raid Shadow Legends.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit. My cheeks hurt. Oh, damn. This is hilarity. This is hilarity to, like, the nth degree. But it sounds like an environmentalist's, like, weapon of choice to I don't know, protest capitalism and other things. I don't know. Let's keep going.
As well as a ton of silver. Not much is known about the early life of Data, but what we do know is that he came from humble beginnings and he had attended college in his younger years, and this would be one of the key influences for his love of gold, even saying, and I quote, "Where I was at college, people would say you were from a rich family if you had gold. So, from the age of 20, I started wearing gold. Back then, in smaller quantities like 10 or 15 grams. The love of gold in India isn't an abnormal thing. It's actually a very normal cultural thing for them. It's quite the norm over there, with India being the largest consumer of golden jewellery in the world. Poor or rich, northern or southern, a lot of Indians love buying gold, and it's quite ingrained into many different parts of their culture. I mean, for fuck's sake, they literally have a golden temple. I mean, that kind of sends the message. Commonly, people will buy gold for religious reasons, especially seen at weddings where everyone will wear extravagant pieces of gold jewellery, in particular the bride. This can be to show off the wealth of the bride's family, and it's a key status symbol in India.
You know, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that the largest concentration of gold on the planet is worn by Indian women. I think. I could be wrong. Someone needs to fact check me on that. But I believe, you know, and you know what, me having been there, only once though, only once for a short period of time. But me having been there, I was walking down the street and I was like, gosh damn, like, damn near everybody's wearing gold. Everybody. And it's not just fake gold or like percentage gold or like, you know, it's like gold-plated like copper or something. It's real, like actual gold. It's not the kind of stuff you get sold at like Walmart for like $50 or, you know, when it's only worth like $5 or something, right? It's legit stuff. And I remember thinking, I was like, gosh, damn.
On that note of being a symbol of status, of course in India there is a lot of attention to one's status and background. We won't talk too much about things like the caste system, but one way of showing off one's status is to wear gold. Lots of it, if you can afford it. Just like the old times of kings and queens, India is like a modern age El Dorado, with people of all backgrounds loving gold. It's not just a status symbol either. Another big reason many people don't have an issue with spending thousands on gold is because it's a good investment, especially during times like now. Indians even have a specific holiday called Akshaya Tritiya, where people specifically buy and invest in gold for various benefits from their Hindu deities. Point being, Indians fucking love gold. In particular, in the region of Maharashtra. They especially love their gold, and funnily enough, this is where Datta was born and raised. This is where he would make his big breakthrough in his career as a moneylender. Shocking, I know. Now, it's not 100% clear what jobs he had before his financial success, but most sources state that he was a moneylender and he ran a company known as Vakratunda Chit Fund. That's Chit, C-H. And his company was located in a town called Bosari. Some other sources have also claimed that he was involved in property management. Either way, he eventually managed to become a millionaire. We think. We couldn't establish if he was fully a millionaire, but he was indeed very wealthy.
And you know what, that makes sense. If I remember correctly, fact check me on this. Don't just believe what I say is gospel, all right? I could be wrong easily. I am a dumbass after all. But yeah, I believe that the business that generates the most millionaires is real estate. I'm fairly certain of that. I'm fairly certain it's real estate. And it makes sense. It makes sense. You know, if you own that property continues to rise in value, especially if you upkeep it and you got enough tenants, you know, and stuff like that. Because your net worth is the amount of assets you have. It's not actually how much cash on hand you have. That's totally different. It's totally different. It's not the amount of cash on hand. It's the amount of assets you have, right? Although somewhere in there is like debt is also considered an asset somehow, which never made sense to me, but okay, something like that. So yeah, it would make sense. It would make sense.
With his success as a moneylender, he went on to, of course, buy lots of gold, even saying that every time his company turned a profit, he would buy something else made of gold. This would reach a point where Data wanted to do something special, something unique to make himself stand out among the many other people who were also flaunting their inventory of gold jewellery. But Data wanted to one-up all of them. He wouldn't just wear gold jewellery, he would wear gold clothes. Not just clothes that were gold in colour. Clothes literally made of gold. The idea of a luxurious golden shirt was apparently coined up by a jeweller friend of Data's named Tejpal Rankar, who worked in Rankar Jewellers, and he helped with the design, and he took inspiration from ancient Indian kings and the suits of armour they would wear. And to be clear, it was Tejpal's idea. I can't emphasise that enough, but maybe he can.
I would think that'd be very uncomfortable and very heavy. I mean, unless they like lined the inside of it with like, I don't know, some kind of like thick cotton or something else. Because I would think wearing gold directly like that all over you would be very, very uncomfortable. Not to mention it'd be pretty heavy, wouldn't it? Hey, gold fever is real.
I'm Tejpal Ranka. I have designed this shirt. Actually, it was my idea. It wasn't his idea. So my idea to him was, let's make something different. And then out of the discussion, we came to this conclusion that let's try something different. Why not try a shirt? It was a big challenge. Indians are a bit too crazy for gold. There's no doubt about it. And this is the proof for it.
And yeah, he is absolutely right. Indians are crazy for gold, and Data was no exception. So, in late 2012, Data finally commissioned for the shirt to be made, which would take an army of 15 goldsmiths working 16 hours a day for over 2 weeks to finish the elaborate garment. At the end of the work, the shirt weighed over 3 kilograms, and it was made up of 100,000 little golden spangles and 14,000 22-carat gold flowers with the cherry on top in the form of 6 Swarovski crystal buttons. You're probably thinking, wouldn't that be extremely uncomfortable to wear? Well, yes and no, because they lined the inside of the shirt with the finest velvet, but that didn't do much to fix the weight.
Right? If anything, it made it a little bit heavier. Damn, 3 kilograms. Dude. And you're wearing... Oh, man. Gold fever. They are crazy about it.
This shot Data to fame, not just locally, but internationally, as I'm sure you're all aware, because you know you've all seen the memes. You know, when you get sent 1,000 bob pics and you unlock the golden skin. But Data also found fame by setting a record. Costing a total of $240,000, this shirt earned Data a place in the Guinness Book of World Records for, well, the most expensive shirt. Though he would only hold that record for about a year, but I'll get into that later. And because of all this fame, he was dubbed the Gold Man, or more locally, as the Gold Man of Pimpri. However...
You know what? I mean, hey, keep it simple, nice and simple. He's the Gold Man. There you go. Done. Nothing else to be said.
Other people wanted that title because, well, you know, India. And soon, some competition arose, and a lot of other men were claiming the title.
So he started a trend of this going on. So he was a trendsetter. Hey, dude, get that money.
Data set the standard, and of course he will always be remembered as the OG gold man from India, to at least most people outside of India. But locally in the area of Maharashtra, several people have claimed similar titles reflecting their love and ownership of gold. For example, only about a year after achieving his world record, another millionaire from the same area by the name of Pankaj Parak snatched the record from Data, and he has held the title since 2014. What's confusing about this though is that when researching how much the new shirt cost on the Guinness Book of World Records website, it states that this shirt only cost $161,354. So that would be less than the previous number of Data's shirt that was close to $250,000. So either the initial cost of Data's shirt was over-exaggerated, or there's been some confusion towards the final amount, since we aren't sure if this is just the value of the raw materials for the shirt itself, or if it includes costs such as labour and craft. But it doesn't stop there because, like I said before, there are so many Indian golden men, or whatever you want to call them. Like, there's another guy called Ramesh Wanjali, who was a politician also called the Gold Man. And, funnily enough, Datta was also involved in politics for a small period of time, as he wanted to use his fame from the shirt and so on as a way to attempt to gain a parliamentary seat, although he didn't get very far. I know the feeling. But
Yeah, Count Dankula would know. He actually ran for like what was it, like local MP or something. Him and another guy I like a lot is Sargon of Akkad, or Carl Benjamin. You know, they both ran for MPs, and yeah, they lost. But it would have been hilarious to see those two like get office. Like the memes for years. Like memes for years. These two are like the leaders of Kekistan, essentially. It's hilarious. It's so hilarious. Don't believe me though. Look it up for yourselves.
This could have just been inspiration from his wife Seema, as she was a corporator for the Nationalist Congress Party. But it's kind of funny to imagine the local council in his area of India having a debate with a bunch of politicians just strapped head to toe in gold while arguing with each other. You know, literally wearing their wealth on their sleeves.
And another thing about the culture, if y'all want to know what real over the top is, like super over the top, watch Bollywood. You want to have a good laugh with a bunch of friends, and you got them over at the house, and you're all drinking, having a merry time. You want to watch something hilarious? Just watch any Bollywood movie, really. Dude, this stuff's hilarious. It's so over the top, so ridiculous, that it's actually pretty good, but it's funny.
Hiding it in offshore accounts like our politicians do. Sadly, things aren't always as they seem, and Datta had been tangled in a few issues. For starters, he was accused of several cases of extortion, along with apparently being riddled with tons of debt, which was uncovered during a police investigation, though this was never really fully proven, so we aren't quite sure. And remember his wife Seema? Well, she was dismissed from her position as a corporator for the Nationalist Congress Party, because she had faked her caste certificate, which is basically a certificate to show which caste you're in within the Indian social hierarchy.
Sounds like a patent of nobility. Well, okay, yeah, it's a caste system, so that makes sense.
So only certain castes were allowed to have that position, and she had lied about hers to get the job. Which, to be fair, right, the Indian caste system is awful, right? It's fucking bullshit. But still, for lying about her caste, she was removed from her position.
Actually, you know what that reminds me of? That reminds me of Battletech or Mech Warrior lore. Because in the lore, there's this... there's like some factions that do practice a caste system. You can't move up or down. You have a selected place and you stay there. There's no upwards or, downwards mobility, really. You're basically born into something. You have no choice. You're stuck there. Also sounds like the clans. The clans from Mech Warrior Battletech universe. The clans are like, the SLDF that left after the American Civil War, so that they could remove all of this weaponry from the inner sphere, so that they could, basically blunt the amount of bloodshed that was going to happen afterwards. And they went to outside the periphery of the known, galaxy or whatever. And they settled out there. And then, over a period of 200 years, they came up with basically a caste feudalist system, where you couldn't go up or down. You had a selected spot. That was it. There was nothing else you could do about it. That's what that reminds me of greatly.
Moving on from all of the sad shit, I'm sure you're all curious as to why Datta wanted this shirt in the first place, and many people speculated it was to get pussy. To which Data did say, and I quote, "I know that I am not the best looking man in the world, but surely no woman could fail to be dazzled by this shirt." Which was a bit of a sketchy thing for him to say because he had a wife. However, Data did comment saying that his wife owned 500 kilograms of gold, and he bought her necklaces and even handbags made of gold, which does seem like an exaggeration, but it also adds to the uncertainty of this story, since there are a few areas where Data has maybe not told the whole truth, to say the least.
So, lots of embellishment, essentially.
14th of July 2016, it was Data's birthday, and he was invited along with his son to a birthday party that was arranged for him. This entire event started with a phone call to Data's son, who was named Shubham, from a man named Atul Mohite. Atul called Data's son and said that he, along with some of his father's friends, had arranged a party and told Data's son to get Data to come to the party, because Atul claimed that he had made a bet with the other partygoers that he could get Data to show up. Basically saying, "Hey, you and your dad should totally come to this party I've arranged so I can win a bet."
That's a million red flags popping up. Randomly invited to a party, and said you should totally show up. No other reason given. It was made up for them. They're being brought over. This person's a competitor to them. That doesn't sound too good.
If they wanted Data to come, then why not just send a normal invitation? So this was already very suspicious. Data at first wasn't feeling up to it, since he was a little bit unwell. And it was kind of late at night, it was a bit late to just randomly, out of the blue, get invited to a party. But Data then changed his mind and decided to go. He then sent his son out to get some food to bring, since he can't just turn up to a party empty-handed, while Data would go there first by himself. Since the party was kind of last minute, Data didn't have his usual bodyguards with him. When you walk around wearing as much gold as he does, you have bodyguards. Though he didn't wear his famous golden shirt that night, because that was only for very special occasions.
And of course, he's got a huge target on his back because he's wearing everything on him, like everybody else does, basically. Bub. This cannot end well. This cannot end well at all. Remember what I say all the time at the end of every video? Don't compromise safety and security. Ever. For anything or anyone. Never do so. Never do so.
However, as Data's son pulled up to the supposed party venue, he saw his father being beaten by around a dozen men. As I am sure you will all be very surprised to hear, the party wasn't a party at all, but a trap. And a group of 12 men attacked Data with a whole armoury of weapons, which included a sickle, swords, knives and rods, with some guys just beating him with rocks. Data's son got out of the car and screamed at the men, who all then scattered off into the night. But unfortunately, he was too late. Data had been beaten to death. So why did this group of so-called friends attack and kill Data? I mean, at the start of this video, if I told you the man was beaten to death, you would have all assumed, oh, okay, someone tried to mug him for his shirt. Which is what I assumed. But no, he wasn't even wearing his shirt when he got attacked, though the reasons do all still possibly come down to money. It seemed that some of the men who attacked Data owed them money, and some of the other men owed Data money, which makes sense since he was a moneylender. But Data had also been caught up in several fraudulent allegations. He has also been accused of doing some very dodgy business deals, as well as allegedly screwing over a lot of people, including some of the men who attacked him. However, we've never been given, specific exact reasons for their attack, so without knowing all of Data's business dealings, all we can do is speculate. But it seemed that all of the men involved were men that Data had wronged in some way, and they all decided to unite together to get rid of a common enemy.
So basically, he kind of brought this on himself. Kind of did. Man, oh man.
As for the attackers, several of them did get arrested, charged and questioned, but not much else is known of the legal case or their fates after the fact. But what we do know is that Data had died and their debts died along with them. Data also obviously wasn't a Minecraft player, since everybody knows that gold is shit for armor. Come on, I had to get one in there.
I've never played Minecraft. I've seen it plenty of times. Just couldn't. It just doesn't interest me. But there's plenty of people that does, who have fun with it and stuff. So yeah, from what I hear of Minecraft, he's right.
Although the funny thing is, I mean, it's not funny, but it is funny when you think about it. If he actually did wear his golden shirt that night, he might have survived. So what happened to the legendary golden shirt? Well, Data's sons say that the family is still in possession of the shirt. They just can't find it. So it's possible that the family sold the shirt and just decided not to inform the taxman. Based. But there is a rumour that a creditor from Mumbai had actually seized the shirt from the family because Data was very heavily in debt and he owed them a fair amount of money, and the family were just too embarrassed to admit that. That's what debt companies do, by the way. Even if you die, your debt still exists. The companies just seize it out of your estate before your family inherit it. So, where is the legendary golden shirt? We have no idea. Although Data had been accused of doing some very scummy things, which is very likely since, you know, he was a moneylender, he didn't help himself by flaunting his wealth to the local peasants, especially when he himself was also in debt. I mean, the guy would literally walk through impoverished neighbourhoods wearing a shirt made of fucking gold as if to rub it in everyone's faces. So maybe all of this was karma, or maybe Data was just a little bit tone deaf. However, before we go, I will leave you with this one final quote from the man himself. I wanted the world to know me as the gold man with this shirt. And now they do. They do indeed, Data. They do indeed.
Because of the memes. All right, there we go, folks. There we go. Count Dankula, the tragic story of the Golden Indian. What did y'all think? What did y'all think? Y'all let me know in the comments down below. All right, I had to kind of rush through this one. So, yeah, because I gotta go and do stuff. But yeah, what did y'all think? What did y'all think? Y'all let me know. All right, you know what time it is. You like me. You like this content. You like Count Dankula. You like these stories. You like hearing about the Golden Indian, the Gold Man. The man of golden memes. Then please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Or even better yet, get into the Discord. The link will be in the description box down below. It's the best way to send me requests, send me links of stuff to watch. And also, it's like one of the best ways to send me requests on live streams. That as well. Also, you get guaranteed notifications when I do put up content, because YouTube hates me and they don't like sending out notifications to everybody that's subscribed and turns on all notifications. So, yeah. Also, become a member. Become a member. You hung out this far. You hung out this far. You're here with me right now. So you might as well join. There's two different tiers. There's cheap and cheap, essentially. Set and forget. And you're funding not only keeping the channel around, but, you know, helping me out. But also, the more of y'all that join, you know, the closer we are to starting to fund some future projects that I really want to get the works on. So, why not join? That being said, be good. Be safe. Don't compromise safety and security for nothing. All right? Just don't. For nothing and nobody. And make a laugh for yourselves. And I will see y'all in the next one. Blast Cat Badger out.